Alright, so you have your QuickJack and you are looking to do some maintenance on it. Don't know where to start, don't know where to go. So I'm going to show you and hopefully kind of shed some light on where to go with this. It is pretty straightforward. There's only a few things you have to do. You should do it at least twice a year, I think, depending on how much you use it. Doing the checks doesn't hurt anything. So, we'll get right into it now and cover kind of the most broad basic steps you need. Okay, so the first thing you should do is inspect it, right? So inspect for anything, like if you see things have rusted, you're seeing, now these are all in good condition so far, but I could see over time things like these fittings here, they could start rusting out depending on if they get any contact with moisture. Hopefully your setup doesn't have that. Check these here. Check and make sure there's no breaks or bends. This is what essentially functions as a jack stand. If this starts breaking, cracking, or anything like that, that's a safety hazard as it is. So you want to be checking all that. You check the unit itself, make sure it looks straight and narrow, even if you want to get a level and put a level on and just make sure there hasn't bent or anything. I mean, of course, if you're not using it for anything big, like if this is a 7000 series model, and, if you are lifting up, Toyota 86, for example, then you shouldn't be encountering any bends or anything like that on there. But if something happens, you lift an unusually heavy vehicle, or if you are let's say you didn't mount it correctly and the car fell on the jack, you do want to inspect and make sure that nothing's been bent. That's a safety concern for sure. You want to check the lines, make sure there's no leaking, anything like that from anywhere in the lines, no pinholes, no nothing that could cause hydraulic loss. The mount, you want to make sure they're in good condition. You can see here, which one is it? Sorry, I think it was this one here. All right. You can see that it's become sheared here, so you want to be careful. First off, it should be as centered as possible. This was my mistake here. Should be centered as possible. But if you happen to accidentally get it here, you don't want it something where it can slip off, right? You don't want that to happen. So be kind of cautious. Make sure you're putting it in the right spot. Check the wheels. You can see the new wheel right there. Yeah, there. Yeah. But check those. Make sure they're all good. Nothing's broken. They haven't cracked. You don't want to be rolling it and then the wheel snaps off. So check all that. And then check your hydraulic unit. Make sure everything's good. Nothing is broken. No leaks coming from anywhere. If it's sitting, you shouldn't see any leaks on the ground or anything like that. So just checking the overall unit and making sure everything is good. All right. So next up, we're going to check and top up our hydraulic fluid in our unit. So first thing you'll know is that when you're using this should be open. You don't want to have this closed. If you read the instructions there, before use, always loosen breather vent to prevent pump damage. So you're supposed to have this open. And it says after use, always tighten breather vent before transporting or to prevent fluid leakage. So you could close it and everything just to prevent any fluid from coming out. I've never dropped it or anything, so I just kind of leave this open. But you do have to open this up here, which is a 24 millimeter. So you just kind of put that on and loosen it. It should pretty much just be just a little more than hand tight. And then I'm going to open that up. Now when you look inside, it should be just about 1/2 inch from the top. So, you look in there, check what your level is, or if you want, you can put like a stick or a tie down or something and just drop it in, pull it out, and see what the level is at. When you're doing this, you want to make sure the unit obviously is unplugged and off, all the hydraulic lines are disconnected, and you've also dropped your QuickJack, because if your jack is up when you're doing this, some fluid has left and gone through into the jack. If you top this up, at that point, which, when you think about it, actually doesn't make sense, but I could see that happening. So I was like, okay, let me do some maintenance. When you bring this back down and the fluid comes back through, you're going to overfill this and you could damage the unit. So make sure everything's disconnected, make sure it's all off, make sure you've dropped the hydraulic lines and emptied everything back out into here. And then you just check inside and top it up if needed, right? I don't know if you can see, and there it is, obviously quite dark. But you just take a quick look inside. You say drop something in, see if you need to top it up. It should be, like I said, just about 1/2 inch from there. Now you can use, interestingly, all sorts of different fluids for this here. You can use, as you see here, I have a 32 weight ISO hydraulic fluid. It also takes, I think 48, and 68. And also takes transmission fluids, which I thought was really interesting too. You can use Dexron 3, Dexron 4, any of those. only thing I'd recommend is keep it consistent. If you put, for example, I have a 32 weight oil here. That's what I'm always going to use. You don't want to put this and then put transmission fluid in next time. The different mix could potentially damage the unit, right? So keep it consistent. Whatever you get is what you stick to and what you use. Then when you're done, you just grab this, put it in, essentially to hand tight. Then grab your wrench, go on, just give it a small turn. Nothing big. You don't want it over tight, right? You just want it snug. You do want to check this because even in the manual, if you read the manual, although you put tape on the fittings and everything, some fittings don't have tape. And it does say there's going to be leaks. And I have noticed a couple small little spots here and there, nothing significant, nothing bad. But I could see over time how those few little leaks could eventually equal fluid loss. So you do want to check this and top it up all the time. Okay, so next up, you want to clean all fittings. Over time, even just general usage and everything like that, they can get a little bit dirty. So you want to check them and make sure that they're all, clean. There's no contaminants. Any contaminants and stuff like that could get into the hydraulic fittings and damage them, or could lead to other problems later on. So overall, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then on the hydraulic unit, 7, 8. Just want to get a cloth, make sure you clean them up. And also, when you install these, they do give you Teflon tape that you wrap up in there, right? So you want to check if there's, you actually can get a better view, some right here, I think. There, right? So you want to check them too. They give you enough that, over time, if you need to do maintenance, just unscrew these and then redo the tape. You should be putting them on clockwise and then tighten on so it keeps it nice and tight. So far I haven't seen any leaks or anything from these, but, it could happen, so keep an eye on that. You can see one for, this is just regular use, but I use it fairly often. So you can see there, it's gotten this little bit of dirt and stuff on it. So every once in a while, give that a good clean, right? Keeping it clean is such a simple thing, but it'll help with the longevity of it. And you want to do all the connection points. So again, 8 points, 1, 2 in the hydraulic points, and then the lines. And check all your Teflon tape fittings as well and make sure they're all good. All right, so next up, you are going to need to grease up your all your kind of moving points on the QuickJack. And you just need something like white lithium grease. And obviously, make sure you need that little red thing. I know, if you're just spraying your doors or whatever, no one uses it. But, you need it for this. And I'll show you why, because these are the points here. And you can see they're just kind of like a little hole. And there's 6 of them on each unit. So you've got 1, come down, 2, a little further down by the hydraulic unit here, the hydraulic cylinder, 3 right there. I'm going to move down further down, 4, 5, and then right at the end, 6. So those are your 6 units, 6 kind of points where you put the white lithium grease in. So actually, I'm going to do 2 for you here. I'm just going to do that one, that one. Remember, you're doing this 12 times, 6 on each unit, right? 6 here, and the exact same 6 on the other side. So we'll just put this in here. These little ones, nice and easy. Just spray a little bit in. You don't have to go nuts with it. Okay. Sometimes when you spray it, you'll see it come up through the side and everything as well. That's a good indication that, it's nice and full. And then over here, you can see kind of air bubbles coming out of there as well. So that's as the lithium grease is kind of filling through, pushing the air out. And the same here. Right. If you want, get a cloth and clean it up too. Otherwise, the grease will get sticky on it and everything. But hey, that's not a big deal. That's just, if you're picky about it. But you do that for all 12 points. And just so you can see, here's one of the cylinders I did. A little bit came through there. And then over here, another one I did over here. little bit came through there. So it means it's filled up the entire thing. That's all you want. You just want to get, you don't want to overfill it, but you want to get as much in there as possible. Okay, and now the last thing you want to do is you want to air up the cylinders. So just to kind of recap where those are. All right, the smaller cylinders, 2 cylinders here. That is the hydraulic cylinder, and that one there is the air cylinder. And this needs to be aired up between 40 and 50 psi. This is important because when you have to drop your car down, the weight of the car is what pushes it down to a point. But once the weight of the car is off, your car or SUV, the hydraulics, the air cylinder is what kind of keeps it going down further. If this doesn't have enough air, the cylinder, the lift will stall. It won't go all the way down. So it's just a matter of unscrewing this right here. Again, 40 to 50 psi, and I know these need to be done, so I'll just show you here though. And you can see currently it's at just over, it's 36 psi essentially, so it's a little low. Now airing it up is just the same as you would a car tire or bike tire or anything. You just put your fitting on and put your air in. Just be careful, you do not exceed 50 psi. You can damage these. So you do have to check them periodically, like I said, maybe once every few months or twice a year at least or anything like that. But you just hook this up, put your air in, and you're good to go. Alright, so that's it. That's what's involved in maintaining your QuickJack. Is there anything I missed, or is there anything that you like to do with your QuickJack to keep it going or anything like that? Anything you found at work? If there is, let me know. Put it in the comments. Other than that, with these basic steps here, your QuickJack is going to go a long, long way for you. And yeah, and happy lifting. See you guys next video. Thank you everyone for watching. I do appreciate all the support out there. Don't forget to throw a like on that video if it helped you, if you found the information useful, anything like that. Make sure to like it. Don't forget to subscribe, help the channel grow, and hit the notification if you want to see more of my videos. If you dislike the video, that's okay, no problem at all, but don't be a troll, alright? Make sure you put why in the comments. I mean, maybe I missed something, maybe I got something wrong, maybe there's something you feel better or you didn't like how I filmed. Whatever it is, put it in there. I make these videos to help people out, so I can only make it better if I get the feedback, but I need the feedback. Just don't be trolling, alright? Otherwise, if you have any other comments, feel free to do so. I answer questions whenever I can. If you want to add something on there, if you have a helpful tip that maybe I didn't cover, I didn't even know about, make sure to put that in the comments as well. I want to thank everyone, and I will see you all next video.